She was a good kid. She didn't deserve this.
Whitney Toon says gun violence has been a persistent concern in the area and says this loss is devastating for her family and the community.
I'm heartbroken. My daughter's gone. Christmas around the corner. She didn't deserve this. She's a little girl. She's not coming home. It doesn't matter where she live, where she be at. It should have happened. And there's other little kids out here that it's in danger as well with the violence.
Just days before Christmas, a family in Goldsboro was forced into a nightmare that no parent, sibling, or community should ever have to endure. What should have been a season filled with laughter, school break excitement, and holiday traditions instead became a time marked by shock, grief, and irreversible loss. Before her name appeared in police statements and news reports, 13-year-old Jalia Toon, affectionately known to her family and friends as Lily, was a child full of life, personality, and promise. She was a 7th grade student at Wayne Academy, where she was known for her bright spirit and outgoing nature. Family members described her as friendly, helpful, and bubbly, with a personality that stood out wherever she went. Jalia had a smile that could lift the mood of a room and a laugh that came easily. She was the type of child who wanted to help others, who connected quickly with people, and who brought joy simply by being herself. To those who loved her, she was not just a daughter or a sister, but a source of light and warmth. Her life story was marked by strength from the very beginning. Jalia was born prematurely in 2012, weighing just over 2 pounds. Doctors were unsure how things would turn out, but she fought from the start. She came home from the hospital just before Christmas that year, becoming what her family lovingly called their miracle baby. From that moment on, she continued to show resilience and determination throughout her young life, a young life that would sadly end far too soon. Around 4:30 in the evening on December 21st, officers with the Goldsboro Police Department were dispatched to the Alpha Arms apartments on the 200 block of North Alpha Court. The call reported that a child had been shot. When officers arrived, they found a 13-year-old girl lying on the ground, suffering from a gunshot wound. Wayne County Emergency Medical Services responded quickly, but despite their efforts, the young girl was pronounced dead at the scene. That child was Jalia Toon. According to family members, she had been walking with her 14-year-old sister and a small group of friends after going out to get something to eat. It was an ordinary evening, one of those simple moments that families never imagine will end in tragedy. The girls were doing what children do every day, walking together, talking, and heading home. As they made their way along Alpha Court, the calm of the evening was suddenly shattered. Family members say that a group of boys emerged from nearby bushes and began shooting. In the confusion and panic, Jalia's sister turned around, desperately trying to locate her. That was the moment she realized her worst fear had come true. Jalia had been shot. Her sister ran to her and held her as she lay injured, bleeding out. She later shared that she stayed with her through her final moments, holding her close as she took her last breath. She described the fear in her sister's eyes and the terror of realizing that the person she loved most was slipping away in her arms. The trauma of that moment is something she will carry with her for the rest of her life.
She was my miracle baby. She was premature. She was born 3 months early. She was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. And she came home 2012, right before Christmas. And then she left right before Christmas.
Planning her daughter's funeral was not how Whitney Brown Toon expected to spend the week of Christmas. Overwhelmed with grief, the mother of 4 spoke with me about her 13-year-old daughter, Jalia.
She's a helper. She's friendly, smart, bubbly. Just had this personality that, it's gonna be hard. We're not gonna get back.
Goldsboro police arresting 3 teenage boys in connection to Jalia's death. They say the 13-year-old was killed just after 4:30 Sunday afternoon in the 200 block of Alpha Court.
I held her in her last moments.
Jalia's 14-year-old sister, Jalia, held her as she took her final breath. She told me they walked with friends to get something to eat. On the way home, she says a group of boys that she didn't know jumped out the bushes and started shooting. She frantically turned around, looking for her sister, and that's when she saw Jalia had been shot.
She looked so scared, like I was scared myself because I hate to have to see her like that. And it was like all on my hands. I didn't want to wipe it off because it's like I still felt her presence. But I still felt that she was with me.
Loved ones affectionately called Jalia Lily, telling me she was your average 7th grader who had a big personality. Jalia today wearing her sister's favorite hoodie because she says it's the closest they'll ever be to one another.
She didn't deserve this at all. Like, people are very cruel because now I have to live on without my sister.
In the days following the shooting, Jalia's family was left trying to process a loss that felt impossible to comprehend. Instead of planning holiday meals and celebrations, she found herself making funeral arrangements for her 13-year-old daughter. Due to their ages, the suspects' identities have not been released. All three face charges of first-degree murder and felony conspiracy. Law enforcement officials have stated that the felony conspiracy charge indicates investigators believe the shooting was a planned act of violence. The suspects are currently being held at the Pitt Regional Juvenile Detention Center in Greenville as they await their court appearances. Police have emphasized that the investigation remains active and ongoing, and they continue to work to fully understand the circumstances that led to the shooting. Jalia's death has deeply affected the Goldsboro community. Memorials filled with flowers, balloons, candles, and stuffed animals now sit near the place where her life ended. Neighbors, friends, and strangers alike have stopped to pay their respects, many struggling to make sense of how a child could lose her life in such a violent way. Community leaders have begun speaking out about the urgent need to address teen gun violence. Calls for mentorship programs, youth outreach, and stronger support systems have grown louder, as many question how children gained access to firearms and how violence of this magnitude has become so common. For many, Jalia's death represents more than a single tragedy. It is seen as a painful reminder of a larger crisis that continues to claim young lives.
I was talking to the Goldsboro police officers, and I said I had two people that walked in the back of the building back there.
Who were acting suspiciously?
Right, they was acting suspicious.
Lily's aunt told CBS 17 that the child, her 14-year-old sister, and several other boys and girls were walking along here when the shooters jumped out of these woods and opened fire. Now community leaders are stepping up to try to stop the teen-on-teen gun violence.
So I want to do a mentor program for teens, girls, and a big brother, big sister program for, I think they just need more mentorship.
And back out here live, as you mentioned, Russ, this memorial to Lily continues to grow with flowers and stuffed animals. And her aunt tells me Lily also has presents still under the Christmas tree that she'll never get to open now.
A GoFundMe fundraiser has been created by Jalia's family to help cover memorial expenses and give her the farewell she deserves. Her loved ones are now left with memories, photographs, and the echoes of a life that should have had decades ahead of it. Jalia Lily Toon was a child who deserved safety, love, and the chance to grow up. Her life mattered, her story matters, and her name deserves to be remembered for who she was, not only for how she died. Rest in peace, Jalia Toon.